Start this off by hearing a little bit more about you and your background and kind of why you got into waxing in the city.
Yeah, sure. So I was in hospitality for about 25 years, running hotels for Marriott with brands like Marriott, Ritz-Carlton, Westin, JW. Spent some time at the Hard Rock hotels and casinos, and then spent the last few years as the COO of a couple of different staffing companies. After a little while, decided that wanted to get into the franchising space instead of continuing to work for other people. And while I went into it, I didn't really have a particular brand in mind. I didn't have even a lane in mind. I went into it with a completely wide open view of things. And after a while, I looked through probably 20, 25 different models and landed on Wax in the City. It was absolutely great model. Love the concept, love the corporate team, love the simplicity of the brand, love the focus of what they deliver, and ultimately decided to purchase three franchises.
Awesome. Okay, well, cool. So yeah, what does your day-to-day look like managing the business?
Yeah. So day to day, obviously we've got a team here. We just opened about 2 weeks ago. So we've got thank you. We've got a relatively small team here, so about five people, as well as myself. So I help open up help open the business every day. Uh, Most days help close it as well. Throughout the course of the day, we're working on business continuity and operations, focusing on marketing, lead gen, getting people in through the door. And then usually, because of some of the partnerships we have, I'll spend, a couple hours a day, maybe an hour a day, working on the administrative side of what we do as well.
Are there any tools or processes that you kind of rely on to help you be successful in your day-to-day?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I got into franchising, my goal was not to sit here and try to do it myself every day. I'm definitely not an expert in a lot of things. I am great at running operations, but doing things like marketing, bookkeeping, finance, a number of those things, those are things that people are much better at than I am. So we've hired a marketing support team, and they're helping us out getting out there digitally as well as locally. And then found Ceterus as well. And Ceterus has been great because I don't really have to worry about my bookkeeping. They connect to all the systems that I work with, which is great. Kevin, who's my accountant, connects with me all the time. He's got a team behind him, so it's not like I'm waiting for Kevin to update my books. There's literally a team of people who do it, which is great. And not only that, but Ceterus did me a solid and introduced me to a couple of other partners I use. So I use Workstream for payroll, and they've, just like Ceterus, have been a great kind of one-stop shop for payroll. What I like about all of this is that I can build my business without requiring me to be a functional, fundamental part of the business. Yes, it's great for the operations. Yes, it's great for some of the things that are here, but heaven forbid I got hit by a bus tomorrow. Everything, all my bills would get paid, bookkeeping would get done, taxes would get paid, people would get, taken care of. So that's been great. The other thing I love about this so far is that we purchased three licenses. So we've opened unit number one a couple of weeks ago, and we're working on unit number two now. And the vendors that we've chosen allow us to just add the pieces as we go. We don't have to search for another vendor or get another license or make it a huge process. It's literally, like with, for example, Ceterus, I call Kevin, I say, Kevin, I'm ready to kick off Hilliard. Let's go ahead and open the books for that. He goes ahead and adds Hilliard. We get the extra little fee there for that. And then we just take off running with a cohesive business. And they did the same thing with me for a couple of the other vendors that we have. So it's been set up in a really, really clean manner, which I like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Allows you to not focus on so much back of house admin work, which is never fun. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so what did your bookkeeping process look like before Ceterus?
Before seven, this is my first franchise. So, but in other franchise organizations I've worked in, other companies I've worked in, there's generally somebody who you have to pay to be there all the time. And that person, well, they stay busy. It's not always a full-time job, especially in a business this size. I was in a business, several businesses much larger than this, and it still wasn't a full-time job. Um, so the good thing is that that day-to-day bookkeeping can be kind of just taken care of by Ceterus at a much smaller fee. But also what I like is, I'm not having to worry about, did I put this piece of paper in? Did I remember to hold on to this? Have I filled this out? Have I done this yet this month? I mean, literally, I hop on with Kevin and he's like, okay, let's go through the checklist. Or I hop into the Ceterus app and it's like, okay, you have these three or four things you need to get done today. And it's been huge for me because I just don't have to worry about that side of what we do.
Yes, which is awesome. No one likes to have to focus on that stuff. Okay, yeah. So when you were kind of picking what your new franchise is, what made you pick Ceteris?
First, I got introduced to Ceterus because they do have a good relationship with Purpose Brands or Waxing the City. So in looking at that, I kind of looked at them across a number of other ones, and one the app with the system they use is very clean. It integrates well with a number of different systems, so I was able to kind of keep my suite of technology or even open up my suite of technology to be able to work with systems that integrated with them. And again, the ability to be able to expand my business, expand my franchise units without having to reinvent the wheel or open whole new accounts, it was huge. And so between those integrations, how they've set the system up, and then, you know, Kevin I got introduced to Kevin and, we, kind of on the start there, I cared about this way more than I probably should have. So I was all amped up, and Kevin did a really good job, and Mike and William did a really good job of kind of keeping me, tempers or my expectations tempered out of the gates as well. Again, they were really good at that. And then I talked to another Kevin who's in tax, and uh, before I'd even signed, he had given me some great advice on how to structure my organization. When I talked to other companies, it was usually filling out a form, or if I asked for advice, they're like, well, after you sign, we'll definitely hook you up. And I really felt like with Ceterus, they helped me out prior to, and that kind of just sealed the deal on the relationship, when I signed.
Um, okay, so awesome. So can you share any specific results or improvements that you've seen in your day-to-day business, that kind of come from your relationship with Ceteris?
Honestly, we're still really new at this. I know that, one of the things that was easy was out of the gate. Even though we weren't taking any revenue, we were spending tons of money to get this place up and running. And so the team did a great job of going through this with me on a regular basis, reviewing what they had at the bank, what I'd been spending, what my future requirements were. And it was good to have a separate set of eyes because while I kept books on all of this and I kept, like everybody else, spreadsheets and the whole nine, it was really good to have a separate set of eyes on some of this stuff. And so that's been huge. And to be honest with you, I don't really worry much about my bookkeeping until Kevin and I get together, mostly because I see my accounts are connected. I'm able to see that every day on the Ceterus app. I'm able to see when they're having issues coding something. I'm able to just hop in and do that. And for me, with all the other things I have to worry about with opening this business, especially a business where I don't have a background in, I'm learning it as I go. This has been huge to not have to worry about that.
Awesome. And then yeah, kind of more on a personal side, what's been your favorite part of opening these businesses so far, or the most rewarding part?
It sounds really silly, but I've got an 11-year-old daughter who has taken to this business like you wouldn't believe. I mean, to the point where, she will attend women in business dinners with my wife, and she'll be the one that stands up in front of a room full of people and talks about the business. We had our grand opening the other day, and she was out handing out, I got her business cards that say brand ambassador. And, so she's handing out her card and engaging people. She's learning about the product. And so, for me, it's being able to do something where you can see that this has potential to stay in the family. It has potential to impact her, and then as we kind of look larger and bigger, it's been great to see the team that we've hired and understand that we can give them something different than other people can, just based on how we've set up the structure of the organization, how we built it, and how we're approaching things. So, you see that impact right away, not necessarily on yourself, but it's really fun to see the impact on the team that works for you. And like even my daughter, right? My daughter is the most adorable thing. Just watching her be absolutely in the business has been hugely rewarding.
That's awesome. That is honestly probably the best life lesson, life skills that you could give her. So that's really cute to hear. Okay, yeah. And then if you were to recommend Ceterus to a fellow franchise owner, what would you say?
Yeah, so I have recommended Citrus, I think 3 or 4 times already. And I do that because, I do believe that a lot of owners go into this um, with the mindset of, well, I've done this at other businesses, I can do this myself, or no problem, I'll just do this and this and this and this. And the reality is unless you're trained to be a bookkeeper, unless you're trained to be an accountant, unless you understand tax law like nobody's business, um, other people can help you with that. You're going to have to pay these people anyway. You might as well get the best people to help you with that, that have a department of people behind them that know all of this. I had a buddy who had multiple franchises, and he said the one thing he regrets is not going with a third party to do his bookkeeping, to do his accounting, and to file his taxes. He tried to do it all on his own, and it ended up a mess. So when I tell people, I said, let the professionals handle this. You handle the business. And I think that that's been probably the biggest hook for everybody is that these guys will take care of it. And that there is redundancy. If your accountant gets sick, you may not hear from him for weeks. If Kevin gets sick, somebody else steps right in or his team pops in. Um, and it's been great so far.
That's awesome. That's what we love to hear. And then is there anything else that you kind of want to add in about your experience?
I don't think so. I mean, it's been a great experience so far. I'm excited to see what happens as I add unit number two, unit number three, and then we have a second franchise company that we bought into. So as we add that as well, the good thing is I don't have to worry about whether or not setters can handle it. I just know that I open the new unit, same cost, know exactly what that looks like, and we move on from there. And I think that kind of certainty in the background has been huge. And then the other thing I guess I could add is they're ridiculously responsive. When I message Kevin, if I don't hear from him right away, I hear from him usually within like 8 hours at the latest. And if I have an issue that Kevin can't help me with, I'm getting a call from, the other Kevin, or I'm getting a call from William, or I'm getting a call from somebody on the team that just says, "Hey, look, we're figuring this out right now. We got you," or "This is what we need to do in order to fix this." And that's great for me because I'm one of those personalities that will sit here for hours and try to figure out the answer. But I feel much better when they call me and they say, "Hey, look, this is what we're going to do to fix this," or "This is what you need to do to stay ahead of that." And huge help.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.